I don't think it's cheating.
Nah.
But nowadays, people have live scope and Mega 360, so it's kind of, they're playing a video game pretty much.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cast&Blast podcast. I'm your host, Pinche Ben. Joining me is my co-host, Jimmy Trent. Say what's up, Jimmy.
What's up, everyone?
Joining him is our special guest, Stephen Shaw. Say what's up, Stephen.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Stephen is a fishing guide here in Central Texas, man. You can find him out on the lake. Slackline Guide Service. You can find that on Facebook. He's getting people on fish all over Belton, Stillhouse, Buchanan, Fayette County, Whitney. You can find him anywhere in the Central Texas area, and he kind of gets after it, puts people on fish, and I'm talking numbers, and it's not just quantity, it's quality. Guys finding people, putting them on the fish, and we're going to talk a little bit about his guidance service. Stephen, if you could tell us a little bit about what you do and the services you offer, let people know.
So what I do is I like to take kids out, adults, mainly families. But we go out, we find fish. And if I'm not on fish, I will find you fish. And usually I catch big fish. It's been lately. Stripers are really good. Hybrids are really good. Whites are really good. Crappie's really good right now. Bass is good on some lakes.
The fish are live.
Fish are.
Yeah.
And it is great. But it is very tough on some lakes.
So a lot of these lakes in the Central Texas area, they're pretty low right now. Are you finding that to be a help or a hindrance?
It's kind of a help, but it's kind of bad too because most of your spots are out of water.
Yeah.
Especially when Belton's 14 foot and Stillhouse is right at 16.
Yeah, man. And not to mention all the debris and I guess landmines that are out there, logs, rocks, and things like that you're normally not worried about skimming across the lake. But
oh yeah, there's a bunch of stumps that people don't know about that are showing now that will ruin the lower unit real quick.
oh yeah, destroy a boat.
Yeah, and I've got them marked so I know where they're at. If anybody needs them, I'll send them.
Hey, there you go.
So out of all these lakes, what's your preference? Like what is your if somebody calls you up, they call up Slackline and they say, hey man, I want you to take me out anywhere Central Texas. You pick the lake, you pick the species. What are you going for?
I'm going for Whitney. Whitney right now, I can get a limit quick. I can get big fish, small fish, topwater fish, flukes. We can fish whatever, and I can get you good stuff.
So we were talking earlier, and you said you took some folks out, last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that?
2 weeks ago, I took 3 people out, had a 3-man limit in 45 minutes.
Man, yeah, that's a good time right there. That's
It
a good
is.
time.
And the lake's being low right now, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. This gives you a chance to learn structure and stuff like that. This is taking mental notes of like where everything's at. So then when you're got a higher water column, I guess you could say, or a level, you can actually fish the structure a little better. Of course, we got a lot of technology on our boats these days, don't we, Stephen?
Yes, we do.
And you fish live scope, don't you?
I do fish live scope.
All right, so this is a game changer for a lot of anglers today. Can you talk maybe a little bit about, you're a tournament angler, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
All right, so as a tournament angler, is it or is it not a game changer for anyone with live scope? And do you consider it cheating? Do you consider it just taking advantage of the technology available? How would you say, if you're an angler and you don't have live scope and you're in the tournament circuit, like what is the comparison for you to the anglers that have live scope?
So most of us that have live scope, we will sit on it all day. It is an advantage and it is a disadvantage because you can sit on it for the whole 8-hour tournament,
right,
and not have one fish. Or you can sit on it for 10, 15 minutes, different spots,
Bag
and get
out.
many fish.
Yeah.
And the people who don't have it usually have knowledge of the lake, grass lines. They'll graph it out. They'll fish it. They still do good, but it's sort of not an advantage,
Sure.
I would say. I don't think it's cheating.
Nah.
But nowadays, people have live scope and Mega 360, so it's kind of, they're playing a video game pretty
You
much.
gotta keep up, man. If you're not keeping up with the technology, then you're gonna get left behind. And I think that it's just a game changer, man. As anglers, we evolve. You know, back in the day, we started off with the old Zepco, you know, fishing with that, and then, you know, technology caught up with that, and the fishing rod and reel combos got a little bit more advanced. People started, you know, changing it up. I think the same thing goes with boats. You know, we started off, you know, fishing out of flat bottom 14-foot, you know, John boats, and now we got bass boats that, you know,
Or some of us still fish out of those 14-foot John boats.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, man, you can still.
But you can't go in a tournament with a 14-foot John boat and expect to actually cover as much water, get out there to your spots faster. And that's the thing, technology, right? We got faster boats, we got better motors, we got you know, the technology and the graphs that we can put on the boats. All that stuff is cutting edge technology, and it's the edge on the water to other anglers.
There's still that human aspect that you said, you know, like you may go out there and set up on one fish for eight hours trying to say, I'm going to get big fish in this tournament. I'm going to sit on it. But like Kenny Rogers said, man, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that human aspect there that, you know, you're either going to make it or break it. So,
So
if you can't get them hooked, you got to move on.
So most of the time when I'm fishing live scope, I'll spend 10, 15 minutes. That's my max. If that fish ain't going to bite in 10, 15 minutes, it ain't going to bite.
It ain't going to bite. But you see people hooked up on that, or, well, I say hooked up, trying to get hooked up on that one fish, just spending
it's
copious amounts of time just trying over and over again.
Oh yeah, they will. They'll go through 15 rods trying to catch this one fish when they could have been moved to a spot and already had 15 pounds.
It's like going into a casino, man, with, you know, endless dreams to hit it big, you know, or you can go in and put $100 in this pocket. When you hit that, you know, limit, you're bouncing to another table, and that kind of keeps you within a certain limitation or something. You know, you got a threshold
thing. Yeah, I mean, you get in there and you're just like, if I can just get you, I can make this happen. I need you.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, plenty more out there.
So, man, do you find yourself chasing fish, or do you find yourself chasing patterns? You know, what do you, when you go out there and you're finding fish, when you're in a tournament or you're putting someone on, like, what's your game plan? Can you share that with us? If you're willing to share some secrets, or maybe, you know, there's a lot of people that watch our podcast, man, that are, you know, they're just getting into this. You know, they probably went and spent all the money on the technology, but they're still struggling. You know, we hear it all the time, and a lot of our friends, heck, we're one of those. You know, we're still learning how to keep up, even though, you know, you're on the water, you got the technology. It's not just that.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So what I mainly look for is, if I'm bass fishing, it's the time of the year. Sometimes they'll be shallow. It's post spawn.
Sure.
Yep. Usually you'll find points. You'll throw swim baits, because right after post spawn is shad spawn.
Right.
So, and that's like 2 weeks long, but usually it don't last long. So they'll start hunkering down on points right now, deep trees, and that's what I look for. So right now when I'm fishing for bass, I'm in that 20 to 25 foot tree range and way off the bank.
Okay.
Whites and hybrids, of course, they go upriver to spawn. You can follow them up there, but it's very hard in a boat to do it. But most of them stay main lake, and you can find them schooling. Most of the time when it's really hot, like it's going to be all
it's going to be
month.
the rest of this. Yeah.
You find them deep, and they might hit an artificial, but most of the time they'll hit a live shad. And that is a big key with whites and hybrids. Stripers as well. Live shad, you can put 8 rods out and have all 8 rods go at once.
Yeah.
It is once you get like that, it is a game changer.
So let's talk you're talking essentially match the hatch. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When we talk that, how important is it for you to acquire the right bait? You know, I mean, are you out there throwing cast nets at certain sweet spots? Are you finding someone local that you can get a guaranteed bag of shad? Are you finding your colors and presentations that, you know, resemble that fish? I mean, you got to think, when we're throwing baits, we're competing with thousands of fish in the water.
We are.
And we got to have a presentation that somewhat mimics what the bait fish are doing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, so the bait fish, I I usually keep a large spoon, a medium-sized spoon, and a small spoon, and I also tie double crappie jigs.
Okay.
Nobody really fishes with double crappie jigs for whites or hybrids, but
Are you vertical jigging off the boat with those?
I'll usually just cast them out.
Yeah.
Cast them out.
Cast them out on a spinning rod, light line, get them as far as you can. And it is a game changer to see if they're hitting small or large.
Man, that is
Change
so
it up, you know?
key, man.
See
You're actually
what's
talking
happening.
about throwing bait. So we do it every time we get on the boat. You're basically tossing out what you think they're hitting on right now until they start hitting. You get an idea of what size, what colors, this and that, and everyone kind of starts moving off of that. But you're actually, have you ever tied two different sizes on one setup?
So I do have some crappie jigs that are bigger. I do have some that are real 16th ounce, 32nd ounce, and I will change it up. But most of the time, once you catch that first fish, it should tell you how big of the shad they're eating.
Okay.
So if you got 3 or 4 people on the boat, are you tying? Are you putting different? Different types and different approaches on each one of those to see what's happening.
I do. So y'all know Bob Mandill. I use his slabs. I usually have one of those on tight lines. They have some slabs that are real good. I tie
Shout
one
out
of
to
theirs
Tight
on.
Lines and Dean Thomas
Yes.
doing great things here in Central Texas.
They keep me stacked with slabs. And then I just get a little Johnson silver minnow and then crappie jigs. And if I have 4 people, they each get a rod, and whatever one we catch it on, I have 10 to 15 of them in the boat.
Let me get you set up now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it is, man. Once you find what they're biting on, man, everyone's tying on. You know what I mean? It's I like to say become your own angler, but it's only common sense. When that side of the boat's hitting and you're not, I'm gonna tie on what you're tying on.
And then you got the people on one side of the boat. Somebody catches fish on this side. Everybody comes to one side, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it." Let me throw. Which spot? I'm gonna throw right over there. It don't always work like that.
I've been out to where I've had 4 or 5 guides around me using live bait, and they weren't catching nothing.
Yeah.
And we're using slabs, just tearing them up, fish
Yeah.
after fish.
or vice versa.
Or vice versa. And then I know I got some that look just like a shad. And I don't need to go chase the shad.
Yeah.
which
How
is
many
a good
times
thing.
have you pulled some tackle out, right, and said, "Man, that looks fishy. I know I'd go after that," and you just don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like everything I tie on.
Yeah.
That's what we all think. Like, if I was a fish, I'd eat this.
I'd eat it.
Yeah.
I know, man. That's like I don't know what it is about plastics, specifically plastics. I pull plastics out and I'm like, ooh, that looks juicy, and I'm determined, man. We were out on the water this weekend, and I was throwing some presentations that I was like, if I don't catch with this, there is no fish in this lake.
I don't know how it didn't happen. I was like, man, same thing. I'm not a fish, and I wanted to eat it.
Yeah.
That's just like the swim baits I use.
Yeah.
I bought them all because I love using them.
Man, swim baits don't come cheap either. So
No, I think they're like $5.99 a pack or something like that.
Yeah,
So-
man. And
But Robert and them, they make mine too.
okay,
oh
cool.
yeah, RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
RPG, our RPG custom baits. If you guys aren't following them by now, man, you need to go look them up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Those guys are doing some amazing colors, pouring some of the most, like, I would say, cutting edge molds.
Yeah, man, they're awesome.
They specialize in custom orders. So if you have a color you're looking for and you can't find it at the big box store, hit up Robert and Angela at RPG Outdoors, man. They'll definitely make the lure that you're looking for.
We'll put a link in the description.
There you go.
Yeah.
So as a guide, is it? We don't guide a lot of fishing trips, but we do a lot of hunting guides. And we get people tell us all the time, like, "Oh, that's going to be the greatest thing ever." It's so cool, and it is. It's awesome. Like I wouldn't give anything for it. But there's the I'm not going to say downfalls, but there's some of the hardships that goes with it. So what are some of those for you?
So I get a lot of kids that come on the boat, and they just want to catch fish. And there's some days you will go out and you might catch 2 fish all day.
Yeah. It's fishing, not catching.
But you're calling guides.
That was Saturday.
You're calling other guides while you're out there, like, "Hey, what do you catch them on?" They're like, "We're not catching them."
Yeah.
And so it is just a tough day.
Yeah.
But the person I am, I will find you a fish.
Right.
And my first ever guide, a kid, he was 14 years old, wanted to go catch a bunch of whites.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find him. Pulled up. I was like, y'all want to go catch some crappie? They're like, yeah. Pulled up to one tree, took 8 crappie home.
Nice.
And then he was like, I really want to catch a smallmouth. I was like, okay, now you're talking my language.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I do every Wednesday. So I put him on a swim bait. I think third cast, he had like a 4 or 5 pound smallie.
Nice. So that, I mean, probably set you apart from a lot of folks too, which is cool. If, you know, one species isn't biting, you're able to say, hey, what do you think about, would you like to go catch this, that, or whatever else? And you will find one of those and put them on them.
Yeah, I will find fish, especially with the active target. There's plenty of fish in that lake right now, plenty of crappie that are just stacked up in trees for days. But bass, crappie, whites, hybrids, there's so many. You can run all the way up and down the lake and find them.
So I won't say it's a shot in the dark without active target, but I mean, it really does help, man, when you have that live scope and you can go out and get over some structure and look at what's under it and be like, let's get after it.
Yeah. And especially if you learn what fish it is.
Yeah.
If you tune it just right, you can be like, hey, that's a bass. I know that is. Or that's a carp, or that's a crappie, or that's a perch.
Or that's your jig.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different skill set too. We were talking about, you know, electronics and how that's changing the game for a lot of folks right now. But that's the other human aspect that comes into it, is tuning those electronics to do what, you know, they're capable of doing. If you don't learn it and you don't do it, like you said, you don't know if you're looking at gar, buffalo, carp. Yeah. You could be throwing.
It'll look like just a blob for you.
Right.
But I got mine so tuned in right now, I can watch the fish's tail move.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it took me, I'd say, about 40 hours to actually tune it just right. So it's.
Well, can you explain that a little bit to the novice angler? What 40 hours looks like on the water?
Oh, 40 hours is a long time.
Exactly.
It is. You're thinking you go to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
That's right. Good perspective.
That's how many hours you sit on the lake trying to tune it, trying to get it right. You're watching YouTube videos, Facebook videos, just trying to get it right. But my thing is that I've looked at YouTube, I've looked at Facebook. I couldn't get it. So I was just messing with it myself one day. Color gain is another big thing. Mm-hmm. Everybody likes to run the amber color. I run a blue.
Okay.
The blue is a game changer. It shows the trees a lot better. It shows the fish a lot better. Your crappie jig. I mean, I can watch a crappie jig go down with ease.
Yeah.
Time on the water and experience is worth more than YouTube University or calling somebody on the phone. You know, just get out there and you have to learn your equipment.
You have to. I've learned that pretty quick, but I still spend 40 hours tuning it in. I got 2 graphs. One's not active target, one is. And one, I run 3 different settings. I run a map, down scan, and side scan. And you still have to tune all 3 of them, which is a big struggle.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a follow-up video that we may have to get out on the water with you, and you know, you show us what you're talking about.
Oh, we will. That's for sure.
So, I mean, that was exactly why I wanted to talk about that was, you know, when we hear 40 hours, you know, you're just like, oh, that's a long time. But when you actually put it in perspective of how 40 hours looks on a boat, that's a lot of time, man.
That is.
It's a lot of time just putting towards tuning your graphs. That's a lot of time. That's a commitment to sharpening your tools of the craft. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
it is. And I was going out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday just to get them right.
Yeah.
And now that they're right, I know I can go fish Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
There you
catch
go.
fish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes you feel, I guess, more comfortable. Fishing is just like hunting. There's no 100% guarantees, but just like hunting for us, I feel like if somebody comes out and they say, I want a meat hunt with a doe hunt, I can almost guarantee a success rate on that.
Oh yeah.
And it comes with being out there learning the patterns of the deer, learning everything about it. And that's what you've done with your tools and your lakes that you fish and things like that. So if somebody books a trip with you, you feel confident that you can put them on. It may not be the target species they want, but you can put them on a fish.
Oh yeah.
Or multiple fish.
They will definitely go home with fish. There's no doubt.
That says a lot, because I've been on some guided trips to where I didn't even get a bite.
Yeah, and that's what I try not to be. I will find some fish.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of spots where I can.
That's good, man.
So let's talk about something that not too many people will, I guess, dive into, especially on a podcast, man. So there's some things that guides don't share, whether it's sweet spots, whether it's secrets, all those things. But by no means does a guide ever share the hardships of being a guide. And what I mean by that is, what is the value in paying so much money for a trip? Well, what people don't value, or they don't place behind the dollar amount, is, that guide's gassing up his boat. He's putting that ice in that cooler. He's getting drinks in that chest. He's putting maybe whatever it is that he or she does to prepare that client for the best trip they can get for their buck. Talk a little bit about I won't say expenses. You don't have to go into that, but what the difference between a guide and just going fishing with someone. You know what I mean? Because I think people need to put a little bit of respect on the name of a fishing guide, because I know as hunting guides, we go above and beyond to put people on an experience. We're working our way towards guiding fishing, and that's something we're learning. That's why we're sitting here talking to you, to learn from you. But we got a lot of respect for how much work goes into putting people on an experience. And can you talk a little bit about selling an experience versus selling a fishing trip?
Yeah, so experience, what I do is, if I got a guide Saturday, all they have to do is show up with a fishing license. I have everything. I have rods, reels, tackle. But during
show up with a hope and a dream.
Yeah, show up with a positive attitude, fishing license.
Positive attitude.
There you go. A big thing about guides, we can't drink.
Yep.
We can't have no beer.
Right.
But if you want to bring beer on the boat, bring it.
Yeah.
It don't bother me.
Yeah.
But with us, we got to make sure we have life jackets.
There you go.
We got to make sure we have plenty of life jackets. If we lose baits, we got to go restock.
There you go. Which costs money.
Money.
Right.
We got to make sure oil in the boat, gas in the boat, gas
maintenance.
in the truck. Maintenance. That was like yesterday.
What's the acronym of a boat? Bust out another 1,000.
Bust out another 1,000.
And it's just, we learned that this weekend. There's an expense for every time you put that boat on the water, essentially. Oh, yeah. If you think about it, there really is.
Last Wednesday, I needed to do maintenance on the boat. I think I sent my buddy $360.
Yeah.
That was oil, gas, spark plugs, and a couple baits from Academy.
Right.
And that's, you pretty much do one guide service.
Yeah.
Replaces it, but then you're just gonna spend another $150.
You're dumping it right back in.
It's an ongoing cycle.
It's an ongoing cycle.
Yeah, and we hear it all the time, and I've seen it on social media posts. I've seen it on this. It's like, man, I paid $450 to get on the water, and I didn't get any fish. And then they walk off the boat pissed off, and you're like, hold on, man. Nobody guaranteed you fish. They put you on, a fishing trip, right? And we all know that there's no refunds for a guided trip or this and that.
Some think there is.
Some think there is.
Or
That's
a hunting
the
trip.
difference between me and other people.
Yeah.
So I do a $50 to $75 deposit, depending on if you're white or crappie, and it's non-refundable.
Okay.
Most guys, they're at 100, 125.
Right.
I'm not going to ask that. But if we go out, we don't catch a fish, you're not going to pay for that trip, and I will give you your $75 back.
Wow. That's crazy, because you still out the money of the fuel that it took you to get on the boat.
Yep.
You're still out of the money of whatever maintenance you had to encounter, because every time you get the water or the
bait's
boat wet.
lost.
Yeah, and So I say every time I go out, I probably lose about $50 to $75 in baits.
That's good assumption. Yeah.
But again, it has to be replenished.
It does.
My thoughts is when you pay for a guide, you're paying. Not only are you paying, I mean, you're paying for that fuel expense, the drinks, and experience, but what you're paying for is that knowledge, because you probably don't have. I'm not going to say you don't have knowledge to catch fish or to hunt an animal, but you may not have it on that specific body of water or that piece of property. So you're paying for the knowledge of that guide that they have for that area.
Yeah. So a lot of guides, they just go out. Yeah, I'm gonna go Temple Lake Park. I'm gonna go West Cliff, and I know we're gonna catch some fish.
Yeah.
Me, I have different spots. If I don't catch them West Cliff or Temple Lake Park, I'll run upriver and catch them.
Right.
If I don't catch them upriver, I know they're right in the middle of the river somewhere, right around Rogers area, and usually that's where they're at. But all guides, some other guides, I would say, they're, hey, $150. We'll go out on the boat. Try to catch some fish. That's their big word is try. Me, I'm gonna put you on them, no matter what.
So when it comes to you get a client and they call you, do they normally tell you what body of water they want to fish, or do you ask what they want to fish for and you pick the body of water?
So I ask them what they want to fish for, how many people, and if they want to fish Belton, Stillhouse, Whitney. I'll travel all over Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me.
And that's crazy because Texas, we were talking about it earlier, man. If you were fishing in Rhode Island, you could be in another 2 states in 20 minutes. But here in Texas, 9 hours down the road, man, you're still in Texas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just like I did a raffle on my page, and one of my buddies from Houston won.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you want me to come down to Houston? You want to come to me? You want to meet in the middle? He said meet in the middle. So now we're going to Fayette. Nice. Fayette is going to be a trip.
So talk about Fayette. We heard some stuff about Fayette. What is your perception and thoughts on Fayette?
So I've fished it since I was 12 to probably about 23, 24. Went back about a year ago. Had 5 fish. I went 46 pounds. 5 fish.
What kind of fish?
Black bass.
Black bass. 5 fish at 46 pounds. That's a hell of a bag right there, man.
Yeah. First cast 762.
That's a good first day or first cast.
That's a good number too. Reminds me of some darker
762. Yeah.
Hey, so if first off, kudos to you for doing that as a guide. You know what I mean? Because I can't imagine there's too many guides out there that you're essentially guaranteeing fish. So let's talk about the raffles and stuff that people can find on your social media page. So you're offering 20 spots, $20 a spot. And you get to go fish with you for how many hours?
I usually do a full day. Okay. So a full day is 6 to 8 hours. I usually stay out, and usually I don't go off the hours. If you want to leave after we catch our limit, we can leave. It's all up to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, 4 hours, we're going.
Yeah.
That's not how I am. I love fishing. We're going to stay out there. If you want to stay out sun up, sundown, we'll stay out there sun up, sundown.
That's a good time.
So if they say they come out and they want to catch, a bag of crappie, limit of crappie or whatever, in your services, do you clean the fish and everything too, or is that something that they take them and clean them?
I do clean them. So I provide the baggies for them to go home, and I'll fillet them right there on the back of the truck.
Come on,
there you go.
Man, I tell you what, that's a service there that you can't find anywhere else.
I'm about to book a fishing trip before this podcast is over.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. If you guys ain't following Slackline Guide Service on Facebook, you need to book a trip with him. He's traveling all over the region, and when I say the region, it's really all over the state of Texas. I would vouch to say if he's willing to travel around Texas and you're in a neighboring state and you just want to challenge him to a good fishing trip, I guarantee you this guy's going to go out there and put you on. So, hey, we learned a little bit about the edge of, fishing with live scope and, active target and stuff like that. So that's a tool that's allowing guys like him, and what we haven't talked about yet is just how young he is. Can you tell everybody how young you are?
26. Just turned 26 May 5th.
This guy
young guy out there
half my age, and he's out here slamming it. And I wonder just how much we can learn from him at this age. You know?
Not only 26, but to have the reputation in the area that you have, you know, as a young guy, that reputation of like, you know, call Stephen Shaw, man, he's going to get you out there and get you on fish. And there's guys out there with, you know, a lot more years experience,
quantity and quality.
Yeah, without that reputation.
I tell you, so when I was younger, I've always wanted to have a guide service, and I told myself, 35, 40, retire with a guide service. Mm-hmm. Well, this past year, I was just like, you know what?
27 and retire with the guide service.
It's time. I just told a bunch of people, and they were like, man, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, which pushes me even more.
There you go. Don't listen to the haters.
I started off in a 16-foot center console. It was miserable. Now I'm in a 21-foot Cobra bass boat with the active target, and it is going.
Mm-hmm. Hey, good for you, man. And that's a testament of like determination. You know, we got mad respect for your just grind and, you know, getting after it, because, you know, we're sitting here still chasing that dream, and look, we're twice your age, man, but we're not giving up, and we're doing it. I mean, Jimmy and I are doing what we love. You know what I mean? We're sitting here filming a podcast about Cast and Blast, man. This is a dream for us. We love seeing you chasing your dreams. If I can say one thing about you, since we've, you know, is that you're super, not only are you humble, but you're also supportive of the community businesses in this town. I've noticed, and, you know, we do a little research about people and, you know, this and that. And if I asked 10 people about Stephen Shaw, everybody had something positive to say about you, man.
Yeah.
When we talk about the places and the people you're supporting, when it comes to your baits, you know, service on your boat, you know, other guides that you work with, it's all local guys in the community that you're supporting. And I love that, because we are very inspired by others, and we want to push people up rather than have to push someone down to get up. And I think that you're actually, you know, you represent that well. So you talk a little bit about some of the businesses that, you know, have helped you be successful.
So when I started the guide service, I wanted all small companies.
Nice.
I didn't want to go to Academy and be like, all right, I'm using Zoom, I'm using Berkeley's and all this, 6 cents. I do keep 6 cents in my boat. That's mainly for bass fishing.
Yeah.
Well, they're a Texas-made company, you know.
Yeah, but they're big.
They're
big.
They're a big company. But I use Southern Hand Ties.
Yetis from Texas
out
too.
Of Houston.
So.
Yeah, facts.
Southern Hand Ties out of Houston I use for my crappie jigs, and he makes some good crappie jigs. I'll have to give y'all some. I have about 150 of them.
Okay, done.
They are killer. You have to have one break. I've had them straighten out, but that's normal.
Yeah.
But I've yet to have a hook break.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes whatever color you want, how you want it. He's just like RPG.
Yeah.
They chauffeur for you.
Yeah.
And RPG's another big one. I found them, and it's been nothing but great for them.
Man, aren't those guys some just solid people, man?
Yeah, not only great baits, but great people.
They are. They are. So usually I put my orders in on Wednesdays, and she'll message me by Thursday, hey, your order's done. You want to come pick it up?
Yeah.
And
you got that VIP treatment.
I don't expect it till the weekend, but they hook it up quick and they get it done right.
But, I mean, that says a lot about small business, too. You know, as a small business, I feel like I want to try harder to give my customer a shopping experience that they don't get at the big box store. You know, there's not someone at the big box store communicating with a customer
there's
directly. You know, hey, I want this order, but I want it in this color, or I ordered this and I really wanted that. What other big box store is honoring that order or that even message or something? You know, that's what we as small businesses do. We go out of our way to keep that customer not just happy, but like, hey man, this is what you get from supporting small business.
Yeah, and so like I said, this small business thing, they kick it off.
Yeah.
Some people say that's catering to a customer. It's not catering, man. It's not catering.
It's just being people.
It's being it's being humble and thankful for, you know, business. It's
the difference between treating people as a number and treating them as people. You know, we are all anglers on a budget. We are all people with a demand. We are all people with we're excited about our purchases. We're excited about your products with your new product. You know, like I want to represent you. And when people want to represent us, we want to fuel that fire, you know? So look at RPG, you know, they hear someone say, hey, I love your plastics, this and that. Can you make it in this? They can easily be like, man, we have it in watermelon red. Yeah. Why don't you buy the watermelon red? Well, I want watermelon red, but I want gold flake in it. All right. We'll make it.
And they can do it.
And they'll be gladly make it. And not only will they make it, they'll make it personalized some way that they'll ask you
what size glitter you want in it. They'll send you a picture of it and say, is this good? Or would you like to change this? You know, I mean, they will make it how you want it.
Man, so I use another company's Titan Lures.
Oh yeah, that's Pendergraph.
He's got a weird last name.
Man, I'm screwing it up. And get this, he's Army Aviation.
Pendergrass.
Pendergrass.
Yeah. He's an old one of me of what I was in the Army, but now he's
I actually knew him from the schoolhouse. Yeah. Like we went to school together, and I just reached out to him. I was like, bro, this and that is so cool because look at the circle, you know what I mean? And small world.
He has made me over probably 1,000 flukes. And at first I was kind of iffy. I'm like, I don't know how durable they're going to be. So I only bought 2 packs.
That guy has a crazy system.
That's crazy. Man, I didn't know that until right now. I didn't know that either of you knew who this guy was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I followed him on social media. I messaged him direct, you know, try to support him and whatever. You know, I'm super excited about his success, bro.
Oh, man.
One thing about us, man, is we love seeing others succeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that a gift?
Yes, it is.
You know, like there's people that see it as like a threat. Competition. I can't see you succeed because if you're succeeding, then that's my competition. You're taking this and that. Man, I look at that as an opportunity. I look at that as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to be inspired, and just, you know, I'm genuinely happy to see others succeed. Like I just enjoy seeing it, man, because it's inspiring.
And if you help others and you show that passion of like, you know, trying to help somebody succeed, and you know, if they do, they may lend that same hand back to you.
Yeah. So on the way back from OBJ, I had a buddy. I stopped in Kempner. He was like, hey, man, I know you're doing good and all this. He goes, I want to start a guide service, but I don't want to guide around here. I was like, well, why not? He goes, well, you're guiding all these lakes. I said, man, there's plenty of fish to go around.
Yeah.
Everybody can eat.
If you want to start a guide service, go for it. If one of your friends, let's say, has a mowing company, and you want to start one.
Yeah.
And then eventually down the road, y'all both can combine to make one company.
Yeah.
And be bigger and better.
Or there's a million ways to skin that cat, but the bottom line is, you know, we do it all the time, man. We get, you know, people who are inspired or you know, hey, man, I want to do this. Man, we talk them into it instead of talk them out of it.
Yeah. You
know, you talked about how someone told you it wasn't going to work. I'm going to tell you it's going to work.
It is. Like, so I probably had about 20 people say, hey, you don't know the lakes that well. You're not that good. Got my first guide, went out, had a blast. And it was that young kid. He maybe had 30 bass by the end of the night.
Good night.
And you both left with a smile on your face.
Yes, we both did. Even his dad. His dad caught some too. His dad was just there for running along. I'm like, no, you can fish too. Like,
yeah, you're here.
Grab
you're
a rod
here.
And fish.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, dude.
So I try to get people fishing, and my big thing this year is gonna be kids with needs.
Yep.
I'm going to do the military tournament that's coming up in September, I believe.
Right.
And Purple Hearts.
Okay.
I'll take a Purple Heart out instantly.
Right on.
Because I know some of them have been through some stuff.
Yeah, mad respect, man.
I'm working with my brother right now. He's actually a plumber. He's building a house for his friend's dad. That has cancer.
Yeah.
And I mean, he doesn't just have one. He has four.
He's got issues.
He's got issues.
Yeah.
He just bought a brand new boat. He can't go out.
Yeah.
So my brother calls me and says, hey, I want to pay for a trip for him. Okay. And I'm like, okay. He's like, but he has a boat and all this. And I'm like, he can choose my boat or his boat, whichever one he wants.
Yeah, fulfill
but you
the
got
need.
the good electronics.
He does too. He's got a brand new Camus. But he found out he had cancer just 2 months ago. Now he can't take it out as much. But that's what I look into. Military stuff I'm real big on.
Yeah.
Special needs kids I'm real big on.
Yeah.
Cast for kids.
Yeah.
Man, we just talked about doing that event coming up.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Yeah, man, we look forward to it ourselves, man. So, man, it's been a pleasure having you here with us, and I think we're going to do this a lot more often, man, because it's been fun having you here. We're just really scratching the surface of, like, what it is that you do. Maybe the next time we'll actually have a video of a fishing trip we actually went out, and the proof will be in the pudding, show you how successful you are on the water, and maybe you can show us a little bit how to be successful ourselves. I won't say we've been struggling, but we haven't been really killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't been hurting, but I'm more of a cat fisherman than a bass fisherman, so it's been a struggle.
Too.
Yeah, but man, we're having a good time and we enjoy it. And I always say a bad day on the water is better than a good day at work.
Oh yeah, always.
So I'll take it, man. And man, tell the people how they can find you on social media. Give them your Facebook name one more time. Let them know how to contact you so they can find you for a guided trip, and we'll sign out with that. But before we do, I'm going to hit you with a surprise, man. We do a little thing on our episodes that we have fun with, and we like to call it But Did You Die? It's a segment where we ask our guests a situation where they found themselves in a sticky situation, hunting or fishing. And it's a Cast and Blast theme, right? Mm-hmm. Hunting or fishing where you almost died or found yourself in a sticky situation where you
didn't think you were going to make it out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I got plenty.
All right, here we go. So here we go. But did you die story from Stephen Shaw. Here we go.
So this weekend we went to LBJ.
This weekend, so this
past weekend.
I love it already.
All right.
It was LBJ, and of course, it's mainly a wakeboard lake and all that. Yeah, especially way up there in the river. So me and my buddy, we're just fishing. And me, I'm the person. If it's just me and him and I'm not on a guide, we're not slowing down. I'm sorry, you better hold on. 'Cause we're going.
So when you say you better hold on, are you in your boat?
Yes.
How fast does it go?
I can range. It all depends on my foot.
So this boat scoots, baby.
I've maxed it out at 76, 77.
On the water, yeah, okay. All right.
So we were scooting. We went all the way to Inks Dam. Of course, you got to get out, push over the rocks and stuff like that. We get over the rocks coming back, and I was like, let's go towards mainland. Well, these waves you could not see. It just looked a little choppy. And I'm running.
When you're going Mach 2.4 on a boat, they probably do look choppy.
Yeah, I'm running about 73 at this point. When we got back, his wife was like, all we heard was phew, and y'all were gone. And I hit a wakeboard wake, and we were nosed up.
Oh, no.
I thought the boat was about to just flip backwards, go for it. And
bet you gripped pretty tight on that wheel.
Yeah, and I let off the pedal real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Bring that nose back down.
I thought there was no bringing that down when you're up in the air. We were nose up.
So you think the prop was even in the water at that point, or was you airborne?
Oh, we were airborne.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Not on the water, man.
We went from straight to looking up. Airborne.
They say PFDs are life-saving devices, which they are. But in that scenario, that case, probably wouldn't have done a whole lot for you.
No, it wouldn't have. And after that, we stayed around 50 miles an hour.
There you go.
I don't think you need to go over 45 or 50 on the water.
Oh, you got to get to your spots fast, man.
You got to. Man, there's some boats, even especially the bass cats, man, they run like 82.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me, man.
Now the 22 footers are coming with 450Rs.
That's nuts.
Tight lines is putting a hurt into the bass cat, bro.
They have them big time.
I see that in your future at some point, man.
No.
I don't know, man, but if you could say what did you learn from that experience so everyone hearing this story can learn?
Let's say waves. We'll look at waves because I got a graph you can't see around. I mean, y'all can go sit in the boat and you won't see around it. But make sure I'll always look for waves, even if a boat is stopped. You might not see it, but you'll come up on a 4 or 5 foot swell from a wakeboard boat.
And that can be dangerous.
Running almost 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, running that fast, you're going airborne.
Wow.
If you don't go airborne, you're nose diving it.
Yeah, that's a rough day.
Yeah, it is. And you get on big lakes. Let's say Travis.
Yeah.
Travis, you probably won't even you'll get on plane, but you're not going over 20.
There's so much traffic.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of this past weekend, and I was like, man, that's pretty sad. But, I mean, people are having a good time. You know, the summer's out. You're trying to beat the heat, so I don't blame you. But I prefer the quieter, more pristine, type of getaways, when I'm on the boat. But, I mean, to each his own,
I enjoyed that 14-foot John boat like you talk about, chasing those spring whites up in the creek mouths and things like that. That's my laid back fishing right there.
Just 14-foot. Little 25 horsepower probably.
You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Just cruising, maybe 15 miles an hour.
Man, when I was a kid, we used to take those out in the back bay, and we would just have a little trolling motor, man.
Yeah.
So we would essentially paddle out to just get deep enough to drop that trolling motor, go out there and just kind of rock all day.
Just float.
Just hear them little waves smack the boat.
Oh, yeah, man. It was so like...
it's mesmerizing.
Like,
it just kind of...
Hypnotic.
Yeah, hypnotic. There you go.
I remember coming back from fishing trips and then just like laying in my bed and just still feeling myself kind of doing that. It was the best feeling ever, man.
Man, I'm a simple ass dude. Sometimes I think maybe too simple after hearing,
definitely one of the most simple guys I've met.
Doing 80 across the lake, hit a small wave or maybe a big wave going airborne like that. That makes my heart flutter.
Yeah, it does, especially when you're in the boat.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, Steven. So, man, I want you to tell everybody how they can find you on social media, man. Just let them know where to get you, how they can get at you for a guided trip, and maybe do a little promo about one of the raffles you got going on Facebook right now.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Steven Shaw. That's STEPHEN, not EVN. Slackline Guide Service. Yeah, it's my name's spelled different. It's weird. Or you can shoot me a text.
There you go.
My phone number is 254-654-9539.
All right, we'll put that into...
Yeah.
And it's on the boat.
You can find him on the water. You can find him on social media. You can find him on the lake. I guarantee you, when you find him, you find fish. So, man, it was a pleasure having you here today, man. We're going to bring you back on with us and talk some more fishing. And I think we got a fishing trip coming real soon. What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I think so, man. I
think if there's still daylight, I'll be hitting the lake too.
Okay, well, you just said 2 words that got us in, so let us know.
Gotta wrap this up, Ben. Hurry up. Daylight's leaving.
Yep, if there's daylight, it's going to the lake.
All right, let's do it, man. Hey, so I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, man. We look forward to having Steven come back and join us on another podcast. Maybe next time, if you guys got some questions for him, drop them in these comments, man. And if you're following us and you're already subscribed, make sure you send us a comment. Let us know how we're doing, man. We like your feedback. If you have any questions for Steven, go ahead and drop them under our video, and we'll relay that message. He's going to be definitely close to us because we are pretty much tagging around him, and I highly recommend you guys do that too. If you're on a boat and you're trying to get into it, follow someone that's out there that knows the lakes, that knows little ins and outs, and you can learn a little from them. So we're going to be doing that with Steven as we get out on the water, get more comfortable and doing all that. Yep. So why don't you sign us out, Jimmy?
I just want to say thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it, and look forward to see what you got coming in the future, man. I think big things, and
more coming.
We're gonna see it. So, with that, we'll see you guys later, and look out for Steven because he's about to make a big name.
We are.